Hello, my name's Yusung Liu. Today we're back checking out a subreddit called /r/DestructiveReaders where people post their writing online publicly and receive critiques publicly. We're going to try to improve a stranger's piece of writing. Who am I to do this? Well, I graduated with an English degree from an Ivy League school. In short, I don't get invited to a lot of parties. And I've also worked as a writer's assistant for a lot of writers' rooms here in Los Angeles. I want to be clear that my goal is not to dunk on anyone, it is not to Gordon Ramsay them, not to be overly mean, but rather to honor their intentions and see what we like about it while giving some meaningful improvements. Today, we're going to be checking out a story called BAM! Trip to St. Pete, written by Jordan OO, okay? And they write, I just want you guys to rip this to shreds. I wrote this specifically for a contest, but I don't think I like it. I've rewritten it so many times now, but I don't think I can make this story work. Please give me all the criticism you can because I do actually want to make this good, even if not in time for the contest. I took some liberties with the writing style that may not land at all. Please tell me if they are stupid. Let me know if I should just sit this contest out. Thank you. By the way, the contest is supposed to take place on the open road and has to include the word glove. Interesting. These are some pretty open constraints, right? But I think they might be nice because sometimes like the more constraints you have, the easier it is to be creative within those rules, you know? If you're just handed a blank piece of paper, it's harder than, hey, can you write a story about a dog? Anyway, let's check it out. I've copied and pasted it to my own Google Doc so I can make edits freely. And this is Trip to St. Pete. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna read a little, and then we're going to give our thoughts, and we're going to make our way through the story just like that. It's 2,000 words. We might not get through the whole thing, but let's at least try to get through a good chunk of it, right? All right, put on your seatbelts, everyone. We're going in. Trip to St. Pete. I don't know why we're still going. Sure, the trip's been planned for months now, but he's not here. He's not anywhere. Yet we're still going like nothing happened at all. Serenity, please. Mama lets out a deep sigh, her line of sight straight out the windshield. I cringe at her pleading. Why beg when she could give answers instead? Oh my God, Mama, why can't you just answer the question? Her lips press into a hard line. Okay, so I have some thoughts. This is cool, right? It's like it's a road trip. It's clear that we're in a car, we're in a road trip, and this is exciting. But I think, like, you know, much like we've talked about with some of the previous stories, you want to start on the most exciting thing possible, right? You're competing with a lot. You're competing with like movies. You're competing with really exciting YouTube videos, maybe the one you're watching currently, but you need to start with something really, really exciting. And this first sentence, I'm going to be a little harsh here, so get ready. This first sentence, I don't know why we're still going, makes me, the reader, think, I don't know why I'm reading this then. Like, you have to establish a clear direction from the outset. But the great thing about this is, just, serenity, please. Mama lets out a deep sigh, her line of sight straight out the windshield. I cringe at her pleading. Why beg when she could give answers instead? This is awesome. Excuse me, I got possessed by a demon. This is awesome, right? Your mom's, telling you to like focus and behave. This is extremely relatable. And also she might be hiding something. So I vote cut the chaff. We get that something's like bubbling under the surface, like something might be hidden, and just start with this paragraph instead. I understand cringe is very popular, okay? You might as well have put the word morbin, like I'm morbin over here in response to her pleading. I'm not sure how much I like it in terms of like a piece of fiction. It might be a little too modern as to be distracting, right? Maybe like I let out a groan. Why beg when she could give answers instead? Something along those lines is a little bit softer. It touches on less pop culture. Let's read a little bit more. Again, the car is silent. Scoffing, I turn to the window. Green valleys and peaks are all around. Clouds form rings around the tops of mountains. The trees that cover them rustle, the wind running through their leaves like the teeth of a comb through hair. Nice. The wind, it howls as it weaves through the terrain. It's picking up. Further in the distance, I think this should be the word further, but I'm not sure. A thunderstorm taints the cotton ball clouds gray. They race towards us. Rain is coming, or maybe a storm. Cool. So I love what you're doing here. What you're doing here is you're using the description of nature to further the tone of your piece, right? Like you could just describe the nature as it is. Green valleys and peaks are all around, blah, 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 blah. But you're also like, oh my God, a storm's coming, right? It parallels this relationship between the narrator and their mom, and something is like suspicious here, right? You get the hint like, ooh, something's coming, not only the storm but between the interpersonal relationship, right? Great use of parallelism, or I don't know if that's parallelism. Great use of tone. Great analogy here, like the teeth of a comb through hair. I don't know if you need to break this up. The wind, it howls. Maybe just the wind howls as it weaves through the terrain. It's picking up. I know, I understand. The wind, comma, it howls, breaks up the rhythm a little. I'm not sure if you need that here. Also, in terms of some criticism, scoffing. I like it, but however, I don't know if anyone's ever scoffed in their entire life. You know what I mean? I'm not sure anyone scoffed since the year 1950. And even then, I'm going to need to look at a primary source for this one, right? Again, the car is silent. I turn to the window. I'm not sure what this scoffing is really adding, because you already say, oh my God, mama, why can't you just answer the question? Like, this is kind of implied within this. So I'm not sure you need this scoffing word in there. And it keeps it a little more like young, right? If the protagonist is a child, which I think they are, they wouldn't necessarily scoff. This is unbelievable, I mutter. Mama laughs. No, what's unbelievable is the fact that my 17-year-old daughter is questioning me like I killed somebody. At this point, I'm not sure she hasn't. When I don't say anything, she turns to face me and her begging eyes meet mine for the first time since the start of the trip. Something inside them is different than when I remember seeing them before. Something enigmatic, something unnerving, something dark. Okay. I saw mom venting in electrical. Want to know why? Because this is too sus, dude. This, I think this is too obvious, because what this is signaling to me is like, oh, no, she definitely killed someone. And I think, like, it will be exciting. Don't get me wrong. It'll be exciting to see how this all shakes out, right? It'll be super exciting. But, like, I don't think you need this. The storm that's coming is a much more subtle, much more exciting implication of this, right? You could even make it a little more subtle with something inside them is different when I remember seeing them before. I've never seen her eyebrows in that shape. Just something weird. Like, it seemed like her face was stretching in a way that I'd never seen it before, or something a little more subtle. This is a little heavy-handed, right? This is a little Stranger Things season 3, if you catch my drift. It's a little bam on the nose. I haven't seen Stranger Things season 3. I've heard criticisms about it from a friend. Yeah. I don't think you need this. I think this is a little heavy-handed. And I also want to say, like, unbelievable. I haven't talked to a lot of teens lately. I'm not sure if they would be like, this is unbelievable. I'd be like, oh my God, mom. Like I think the oh my God, mom is like really in tone with what a teenager would say. This is unbelievable is something that a White House press correspondent might say, in the face of an outrageous question. I don't know. I would just examine the dialogue. And I also want to say this, like, what's unbelievable is the fact that my 17-year-old daughter is questioning me like I killed somebody. I think this is very like fiction-y. You know what I mean? This is very like, oh, I'm reading right now. I would honestly ask yourself, if your mom was in this situation and if you were in this situation, what would you say? You'd probably be like, Mom, I don't know why you're being so weird about this. And then she would laugh and be like, I'm being weird, you're being weird. Or my mom, if we're gonna be honest, my mom would be like, we don't have time for this. Can we please just get through this like car ride or something? Something along those lines, right? Because I think this is a little too expository, and I think the truth could be more, one, grounded, and two, maybe even more exciting. So I would honestly imagine yourself in the shoes of the protagonist, like really consider it, and imagine like your mom or someone else in your family in the position of the mom character, But I like where this is going. I'm like excited to see where things turn out. Still, I say nothing. In response, she turns back to the wheel, placing both hands at 10 and 2. The skin of her knuckles tightens as she grips harder and harder. Yeah, dude, this is awesome. Just even if you do this, right? She turns back to the wheel, placing both hands. She turns back to the wheel. The skin of her knuckles tightens as she grips harder and harder. Like, this is scary, right? This is scary. You don't need something dark, something unnerving. The implied scariness, the implied unnervingness of this sentence does that job for you. Might I say it does it for you expertly, you know? Explain to me what I saw, Mama, I murmur. I'm desperate for an answer now. I don't know who the woman driving me is. Her mouth falls open as if about to answer. She seems surprised when no sound comes out. Instead, she clamps her jaw closed, sniffs, and cranks the air up. The air conditioner roars. I don't just shiver from the cold it spews. I shiver from the piece of information I know and the bigger picture that I don't. Okay, this is cool. So, okay, I'm gonna take a page out of Google Docs' book right now. I think that you very rarely need to use words like murmur. I think that you can most always use said or asked. And I think the dialogue itself should convey any extra meaning. Like if you were in an interrogation scene with like a lawyer and a criminal, I don't know, but like, don't hide anything from me. And then I said, and then like I could feel my knuckles gripping really hard. Like you can convey everything else, like from the actions that happen afterwards or from the dialogue itself. I don't think that you need like, don't hide anything from me. I screamed, I ejaculated, etc., right? Like, you don't need all of that. You can just be like, don't hide anything from me. I slammed my fist down on the chair. You know, like you don't need murmur. Explain to me what I saw, Mama, I said. I asked. I'm desperate for an answer now. I don't know who. Okay, yeah, this is also, I saw Mom venting an electrical. It's a little too sus right now. It's a little too creepy, scary right now. The air conditioner roars. I don't just shiver from the cold it spews. I shiver from the piece of information I know. So this is a little too self-aware. This is also, not only do we, the reader, know, it seems like the child also knows. And so like, the tension isn't building here. The tension is already like at max. You know what I mean? Because if the protagonist is already this suspicious and we're already this suspicious, we're like, oh, there's no mystery here. Of course this mom is like guilty of something. So instead, the air conditioner roars. I can feel the jets of air brushing against my skin. But I don't feel cold. I don't think that you need the piece of information I know and the bigger picture that I don't. I think that's a little too direct. Hairs rising to attention on my arms. My mind recounts yesterday morning for what feels like the millionth time. 46-year-old Randall Lennox was last seen 4 days ago, leaving his home on Versailles Road. His wife reported him missing that night when he didn't return home for dinner. Officials are looking into his whereabouts, so please, if you have any information, blah, 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 blah. I whipped my head to the TV. There he was, Randy, our Randy, with his unruly brown curls, scrunched lips, and forehead wrinkles. No one else noticed the lifeless eyes he has. If you look into them, you'll find nothing but emptiness. I always did notice them. Where's the goddamn remote? Her voice is frantic as she flips couch cushions and decorative pillows. Wait, his wife reported him missing, but I thought he was. The TV flicks off. Okay, nice. It's some exposition. I think you could cut this down because I think we get that the mom has killed someone. I don't know. I think if you take out a lot of the heavy-handed stuff, a lot of the more heavy-handed stuff early on, this is good because like a page in, you finally get some solid exposition. I'd be okay with this at this point. And I'll tell you right now, what's working here is, wait, his wife reported him missing, but I thought he was. I'm not sure how to finish this sentence. I'm like, oh, maybe he was single. Maybe he was blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm not sure where this is going. And I love that. I'm so excited at the prospect of where this could go. So like moments where this is working, this is it. Tag yourself. I'm in the photo. If you look into them, you'll find nothing but emptiness. I think that no one else ever noticed the lifeless eyes he had. How do you know that? You know what I mean? Like other people, like who is this narrator to be making this observation? You know what I mean? Other people could notice the lifeless eyes. So I'd be like, I could see his sunken eyes. Even through the static of a TV, I always liked them, or something weird, right? Like I always liked his sunken eyes, or just something weird, which is like which would one like creep up the scariness and spookiness of the tone, and two be like, oh, this is why the protagonist cares so much about this Randy guy, right? All right, let's keep reading. My throat dries as I remember this morning when I found the glove. Uh-oh. And even after all of that, after finding out Randy isn't who he said he is, after finding the crusted blood on the latex, Mama still shoves me in a RAV4, destined to make it to St. Petersburg after countless anticipation-filled days and antsy nights. Okay, our bags thud in the trunk as the road turns rough. Why are we going when Randy's missing? Why are we still going when Randy's missing? Okay. This is too much. The TV flicks off. Our bags, I'm just gonna do some executive edits. This is genuinely how I would change this if we were like, if I was your editor. This is what I would suggest. Bam. Our bags thud in the trunk as the road turns rough. Why are we still going? Randy's missing. Just get to the point. She swallows hard. The room's already booked. We can't get a refund. Randy has a wife. He shouldn't be going anyway. She enunciates her words hard. Are you complaining? This is fucking awesome. This is so good. This totally works. She enunciates her words hard. You don't even need the swallowing hard, right? Because this is an awesome your mom joke. Don't get me wrong, but you don't need it. The room's already booked. We can't get a refund. Randy has a wife. He shouldn't be going anyway. She enunciates her words hard. Are you complaining? This is suspicious without explicitly saying it's suspicious. I got chills reading this, right? She enunciates her words hard. What a weird, suspicious behavior. You do not need, you do not need. Something inside them is different than I would remember seeing them before. Something dark, something, unnerving, right? Dude, just unnerve your reader instead. Why tell me something is unnerving when you can affect your reader and unnerve them through your language, through your prose, right? This is sick. Okay. No, I just don't understand. I need you to start being more appreciative. This is more than your cheating, no good daddy has ever done for you. Why can't you just accept the things I do for you? She asked. My teeth chomp against one another as anger surges in my fingers. Real classy, mama. I started to feel my blood rise to my head. I think anger surges in my fingers is a little too direct. I rolled my eyes at her or something along those lines. My teeth chomp against one another. I would imagine that you had to read this story out loud. Imagine that you are reading this story in front of a group of classmates, a group of peers, a group of friends at a picnic or whatever. My teeth chomp against one another. Or, excuse me, imagine that you had to retell this story from memory. Would you say out loud, my teeth chomp against one another? I don't think so. I gritted my teeth as I felt myself getting angry. Real classy, mama. So if you had to tell this story from memory to other people, how would you say it? And then write that because this is just a little unnatural, and I know you're a good writer. I know you're a good writer because she enunciates her words hard. There's a few things in here that I'm like, yeah, dude, you know how to create an ambiance. You also know how to write like I don't know, words that you would say out loud too. So if you wouldn't say this sentence out loud, don't write it, you know? Real classy, mama. I guess she knows how to pick them. First dad, now Randy. How does she manage to find the ones that aren't the least bit interested in commitment to one woman? Again, this suffers from like first dad, now Randy. Also, you could just kill this sentence, pardon the pun, and just save some information. You don't have to make us aware of all the information. I'm starting to realize now that you might be like, hey, I need to tell the reader that something is going on, otherwise they'll want to stop reading. False, dude. The more you keep information away from me, the more you slowly dole it out. I thought he was first dad, now Randy, and then suddenly that sentence finishes, right? Oh my God, Randy might be dating the mom character. That's exciting, right? You just slowly dole out the information. Don't tell us all at the start. Let us work for it. Let us stay with you. And in the meantime, hit him with banger sentences like she enunciates her words hard. Her hands, skin of her knuckles tightens as she grips harder and harder. Hit us with that. We're gonna be hooked from that, and then just slowly dole out pieces of information. We'll be so happy and so excited to read. Did you know he has a wife? Serenity, would I date the man if I knew he was married? I don't know. Would you? Her fingertips reach for his temples. No, I didn't know he had a wife. I yank my headphones out of my backpack. I plant the buds in my ears, crank up the music, and stare straight ahead. Awesome. 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 This is so good. I yank the headphones out of my backpack. I plant the buds in my ears, crank up the music, and stare straight ahead. What is this trying to say? What does this imply? I'm disappointed in my mom and I don't want to talk about this anymore. No, I didn't know he had a wife. I'm not doing this anymore. I can't handle this conversation. I'm putting on my headphones. You don't need to tell, like, I see something unnerving in her eyes, or like, you know, you don't need to be direct. This is some incredibly indirect, incredibly beautiful writing. This is really, really nice. We're rolling through northern Tennessee now. I can recognize it so well because it's been my favorite part about heading south. It's something about the looming fog, the hunter green hills, and the popping of my ears that puts me at ease. Nice. And any others? This I think you can tell is like written from experience, right? It's written honestly. Like if you were to tell this story out loud, it'd be like, oh, we were in northern Tennessee. I always liked it because I could always tell that we were there because my ears would pop all the time. This is written honestly, and it's authentic details like that make me really, really happy. Really, really excited and engaged. In any other circumstance, that is. One time, as Mama, Randy, and I rode through these same lumps of land, the conversation about going to St. Petersburg came up. We were on the way to Chattanooga, and the verbal daggers that Mama and Randy were throwing took up most of the drive. In the few minutes of rest, we learned that St. Pete is his favorite city. It's really pretty down there. Nice beaches, nice weather this time of year, good food, good people, is all he really said about it. We need a real vacation in the sun and stuff, don't you think? The memory hurts my head. Never-ending questions loop in my mind. Where is Randy? Is he okay? Where is he right now? Why does he have a wife? Is it true that Mama didn't know he had a wife? When was he going to tell us? When was he going to tell her about us? What about the bloody glove? Is it his blood? And if it is, did Mama do something to him? Okay, cool. Awesome. Honest first impressions. Wow, Randy is like terrible at small talk. It's really pretty down there. Nice beaches, nice weather, good food, good people. You don't need the it's really pretty. Nice beaches, nice weather this time of year. Good food, good people. Just if all this is saying is a very basic sentence, then like, oh, Randy is like a pretty like milquetoast guy. Get through it as fast as possible. We need a real vacation in the sun and stuff, don't you think? The memory hurts my head. Okay, this is a stylistic choice, right? You're taking a big swing right now, and I respect it. I respect it. I love this. I love this, right? Let's get weird, right? Let's get messed up and twisted, okay? Where is Randy? Is he okay? Where is he right now? So you have a lot of broken lines here, right? Careful, because you do the same thing 3 times in a row. 2 times would be okay. 3 times in a row is like, please. It would be like if I did the same card trick to you with a deck of cards 3 times in a row. You probably get a little bored, right? Like try to mix up things. Like where is he right now? A wife? Like just like try to mix things up, because leaving one word on the dangling on the precipice like this 3 times in a row is a little like, you know, I get it. When was he going to tell us? Tell her about us. What about the bloody glove? And if it hit, okay. So I would recommend reading or just checking out Toni Morrison's Beloved. She does this expertly, right? She does this where her fiction is broken up by poetry that she's just interjecting in the middle of the story. Why am I talking about this? Well, she also does some incredibly weird stuff. So if you're going to do, and the lesson that we can take away from that is, if you're going to do something weird with syntax, if you're going to do something weird with the structure of the story itself, the imagery in that broken up structure needs to match the imagery in this special section needs to reflect the broken up syntax, right? Like, I don't know if I'm explaining myself correctly. Your images in this section need to be weird because the text already looks weird, and to pair weird ass text, to pair weird ass formatting with very basic questions is imbalanced, right? So I would be like, dude, I don't know. Like, I don't know if you've ever played the video game Death Stranding, but like, where is Randy? Like, I pictured the image of Randy being born from his mother's womb. Something weird, right? Because if you're gonna tear these lines up, if you're gonna get Psycho, right? If you're gonna get Twin Peaks all up in here, make sure the imagery reflects that. You already. I can't talk. I'm so passionate about this. You've already given yourself, like, you can't just say, like, I imagine Randy being born out of his mother's womb when you're in a paragraph, right? However, you can get away with it here. And take that. Because otherwise I'm just like, why are these questions broken up in such a weird thing? It's exciting, don't get me wrong, it's exciting, and I like the use of like poetry in here, but the text needs to be just as exciting. Or just like do like some flashback to some childhood stuff where like you saw your mom like stealing from a store, or like stepping on an ant or something, you know, something just like a little darker, something a little weirder, right? Can't make them stop. They're swarming my thoughts and they're getting louder as it's getting harder and harder not to think about their answers. Nope, you don't need this. I turn the music up, my eardrums pound from the volume. Yeah, dude, all the questions are happening. They don't stop. We get that. I turn the music up. I'm trying to silence the poetry that I just thought. My eardrums pound from the volume. Mama drives in silence. Her hands haven't left the wheel. Her gaze hasn't left the twisting road. We're clearing the top of a hill. I don't know if this is really important. I should probably get gas soon, Mama breathes. Mama said. I glance at the gas hand. You don't need this. The tank is half full. The tank is half full kind of implies like, oh, I'm gonna check. I look over, or just I look over. It's more casual. It's more real. It's more how you would say this in real life. There's no reason to stop now, but I guess I could use the time to stretch my legs. We've been in the car for around 2 hours now. My body's getting stiff. I guess I could use the time to stretch my legs. Implies that your body is getting stiff. Okay, we're almost in Knoxville. We'll stop before it. Don't need that. Okay, I say again. I'm not sure if she was announcing her travel plans to me or if she's trying to recite them so she won't forget. Okay, I say again. I look. I know I just used I look over, so don't do that. But okay, I say again. But it doesn't seem like she's listening. She turns and gives a small smile. Something about it makes my skin grow cold. This is way too heavy-handed. You just punched me in the face right now. Something about it makes my skin grow cold. You might as well have said, she turns and gives me a small smile. I did it. I killed him. She said, which would also be exciting, right? Like, I don't know, maybe just explore that for a while. But like, something about it makes my skin grow cold. She turns and gives a small smile. I'm not sure what she's smiling about. A sudden bump in the road makes me jump in fear. My heart pounds as I realize what's happened and Mama's eyes grow wide. Her smile falls from her face. Jesus, that scared me. I laughed, but Mama doesn't laugh back. She doesn't even acknowledge that I said something at all. This is fine. You don't need that, but Mama doesn't laugh back. She's not acknowledging me. Senpai is not noticing me. Slowly, the air conditioner pulls in an odor. It's rotten, but not rotten like anything I've smelled before. The pit of my stomach turns. Yeah, okay, the body's in the back. Like, it's a little too obvious. So how would I change this? What died out here? How the body has fallen out of the bag in the trunk. I know this, you know this, we all know this. This is too obvious. If it were me in the car right now, all the clues are clear. So I would be like, I need to form an escape plan. I don't know if this is modern day. I don't know if I have a cell phone. I don't know if I'm going to start like, oh, when we get out of the car, I'm going to call the police, etc., etc. But then I'm getting scared that my mom's going to kill me or something along those lines. Like, the narrator is I don't take any pleasure in reading a protagonist that is less smart than me. And I'm not talking about like, oh, they have to be a fucking genius or whatever. But like, I need the protagonist to be playing at the top of their intelligence. Reading this naive character does not bring me any joy, right? Start like getting with the program, right? Because that's exciting. When characters are operating at the top of their intelligence, that's exciting. When you're watching a naive character stumbling through the world, that's not reading, that's parenting, okay? That's not that exciting. So I would just be really careful with how you set this up. Maybe just omit the smell stuff in general. Probably a possum or something weird like that. It always smells like crap in these mountains, doesn't it? I nod my head and stick my face into the rippling humid air. The storm clouds caught up to us. The tiniest sprinkles are falling from the sky. I can't see the sun, but I can tell it's setting from the darkness. Okay. So when I noticed the weird thing about the smell, it isn't coming from outside. See, the fact that I knew this meant that it was too obvious. If I can predict everything that's going to happen from sentence 1, like killed somebody, like if I can predict everything that's going to happen from sentence 1, why would I be reading? Not only that, I would have put the book down by now. So, okay, now we can talk about this, right? Because I know you can do this. You have good instincts. I get it. This is a weird twisted mystery. Not only that, you're punctuating it with the poetry, right? It's nice. It's nice. Have them talking about something else. Have them talking about Christmas or something, right? Like, talk about how their mom always hid gifts really, really well from the children. Because it's unsettling, but not direct, right? Oh, we learned that the mom is really good at hiding. Like, did you know that I just hid them like right under your bed last Christmas? Or just something weird, right? Oh, okay. Yeah. Don't bring up killing someone, because now I'm like, oh, the mom definitely killed someone. Like, if we were to look at the original document, it's way too obvious from like the first 15 sentences, like everything else that's going to happen, right? And you don't need to. You can be as opaque as possible. Just give us something. But I thought Randy was, hang on. And then it's really exciting when like that you can even give a lot more space between first, but I thought Randy was, and then 3 pages later, first dad, now Randy, and you're like, oh my God. And then that's really exciting, right? Okay. Okay, I roll the window up. It's like it came from inside all along. The doy. Panic rises from my gut to my throat, except now they're statements. They aren't asking a damn thing. Here's the thing. If they don't feel like questions in their statements, we're about to read that. You don't need to tell us. Not some from Unfortunate Roadkill. You don't need any of that. Randy has a wife, but Randy also has a girlfriend of 2 years. Mama is Randy's girlfriend. Mama's been hurt before. Randy's been missing for 4 days. His blood is on the glove and there's rotting corpses in the back. Nice. Nice. Finally. The narrator, the protagonist realizes it. My head spins. This panic is making me jump to insane conclusions. Why would she move a body over state borders? Plus she says she knows nothing. The blood could be from anything. I'm being ridiculous. Mama wouldn't kill anybody, would she? My head spins. We get this. It's very like we've seen this before, right? In any mystery, in any situation, like if we were in this situation, we would also be thinking all of these things, and so you don't have to spell them out at us. Something dares me to look at Mama's face. She's got a crazy look in her eyes. Her jaw is clamped shut. Her nostrils are flared. You don't need this. Something dares me to look at Mama's face. Her jaw is clamped shut. Her nostrils are flared. This is showing, don't telling. This, we learn, is that she's got a crazy look in her eyes, right? Her jaw's clamped shut, her nostrils are flared. Oh my God. She is not doing so hot, right? This is more exciting. We get to make that conclusion. You don't tell us that conclusion. We get to make that conclusion. We're going 87. The speedometer climbs 96. Mom, I blurt, what? You're going really fast. My hands shake and my mouth dries as I fight tears spilling out of my eyes. We reach the bottom of the hill. The sky is pitch black, a little sign that the reason that I'm skimming this is because I know the ending. I think at least I know the ending. So I'm not like, there's no tension, there's no stakes. We already know all the information. All the way back, she states as she pulls up next to a pump, don't move. Her eyes are hard, her words are sharp. She stares into me. I gulp. No one's ever gulped. I swallowed, nodding my head. She jumps out of the car and dashes through the rain into the station. Except I head for the trunk. The semicolon is unneeded. Don't flex that you know how to use a semicolon. I head for the trunk is a much more exciting sentence. You don't need the semicolon. If you use a semicolon at the climax of the most exciting moment of your thriller, you might as well have farted in the most exciting moment of a movie. You know what I mean? Like you don't need it. You don't need it. Thought is too loud. Okay. There's Mama's bag. Then there's another bag. It's much bigger than the other two. Randy's too big into something. He's 6 feet tall, seeing nothing. But what's inside? The body's cut up. Dude, we know. Okay, but what's inside? I swallow as I pull the ripper, and there he is. Randy, but in 2 parts, shoved into the bag, naked. Bloody wounds splattered across his chest. His lifeless, empty eyes stare at me, but now I know there's no soul behind them. Okay. If I saw a dead body, I would not be thinking about whether or not there's a soul behind me. And there he is. Randy, but in two parts. Randy, but in two parts is awesome. What a great sentence. A small scream escapes me and my hands fly to my mouth. This is what I would do if I saw a dead body. I mean, I don't know, but it seems really likely, right? I told you not to move. Yeah. We saw this coming. From the first sentence. Let me look back at the let me just look back at the regular Google Doc. But he's not here, he's not anywhere. So someone's missing and the mom won't answer a question. You're laughing at me like I killed somebody. Yeah. Like we could have predicted everything from round one. So how would I honestly change this story? How would I honestly change this story? Okay. One, I would recommend reading Flannery O'Connor's A Good Man is Hard to Find. It's really, really similar. But the tension there is palpable. The information is imperfect, right? And it evokes a lot of religious theming. Like, this story says nothing about the human condition, no offense. It needs to say something about the human condition. It cannot be just a murder. Because if I wanted to just read about a murder, I'd listen to a true crime podcast, right? It needs something more. It needs to be about like hiding things from people or cutting things in two. Or if it's about cutting things in two, okay, great. Okay, there's something. So we have this theme, right? Randy's split into two. How can we echo this and say something about the human condition? Okay, the daughter and the mom and the mom are talking about her first divorce, how they had to split everything up, right? She had to split up her own time between mom and dad. She's lost a little bit of her sense of self. She had to split up her toys so that, she didn't have to constantly bring them left and right. And then when dad disappeared, it was a whole thing, right? All of those vanished. And so you can talk about this idea of being split into two, maybe like the split personalities, like one with your mom and one with your dad, right? If you're coming from a divorced family, right? And then you can ramp up the tension, like about, like hiding things, like here are things that I never told you about the divorce, blah, 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 blah. And then bam, Randy in two parts. At the end, there's one way that you can make it about something larger, right? What it really means to be split into two, what it really means to be divided. Like with that, you could be making the artistic argument that having to split your time between mom and dad in a divorced family is kind of like having your body torn apart into two. It's painful, right? Or I don't know. I don't want to speak with like without having had that experience, but I could see in a literary sense why that would be the case. Why would you would want to make that argument, right? What else could we talk about here? It's a road trip, and it has to include the word glove, right? Okay. If it's a road trip. Dude, you know what would be exciting? A story premise where I would not be able to predict the ending? Okay, 3 paragraphs in, 4 paragraphs in. Oh my God. My mom killed someone. It is 100% evident that my mom killed someone. Okay, I know this. How do I escape? When we get out of the gas thing, how do I escape? I have no idea how that story ends. I have never seen that before. Not only that, it feels honest. Because if I had all this information at the start, I'd be like, that's what I would be thinking, right? It would be more exciting and I wouldn't have been able to predict the ending. You know what I mean? What does that say about the human condition? I don't know, but it's fun to watch a character have to like escape from impossible odds. They have to hide and stuff, and the mom could make like a genuine plea, like, "Hey, if you keep this secret, I won't kill you," or something along those lines. That's just exciting. I've never seen that before, right? I have no idea where that's going to go. If I were to look at the original document, like. I don't just shiver from the coldest views. I shiver from the piece of information I know and the bigger picture that I don't. Oh yeah, the body's in the trunk. 100% the body's in the trunk. Something enigmatic, something unnerving, something dark. Oh, she definitely did it. However, if she's talking about hiding like birthday presents or Christmas presents, or if she's talking about like playing pranks, like mean pranks on children at church or something, like unsettling. I'm like, oh my God, I have no idea, but this mom character kind of seems unhinged. I'm excited to see where that goes, you know? It's a little too predictable right now. But I also don't want you to give up, because there's some fucking great moments, like we've talked about. She enunciates her words hard. Nice. I don't think I've ever read this sentence before, or this idea before. It's awesome. Our bags thud in the trunk as the road turns rough. Nice. Because this, I was like, wait, is the body in the back? But I don't have enough evidence to know. You could also never let us know, right? Imagine this. Okay, okay. The mom, oh, this is how I would write this story. This is how I would fucking write this story. The mom and the daughter are talking on this road trip about keeping secrets from one another. The daughter is like, I had a boyfriend when I was 15 and I never told you. And they're laughing about it, right? And the mom's like, oh, well, when I was younger, I would drink at at my friend's house when I was like 14. And they're laughing about it, right? And they're trying to like, it's this like battle of wits. And in the background, you never acknowledge it. In the background, you hear the news reports. Oh, this person was missing. Oh, this person was missing yesterday, blah, 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 blah. Occasionally you'll hear more and more details, right? But they never address it. The protagonist literally never acknowledges it. The mom never acknowledges it. You occasionally have our bags thud in the trunk as the road turns rough. And then you end on like the mom saying, well, I guess there's things that you don't know about me. Isn't there? And then the bags thud in the trunk again. And you're like, oh my God, did she do it? How exciting would that be, right? Like the whole time you just don't acknowledge it. And that's a more exciting, like, we don't know the ending and we're desperate. And then we probably go back to search for clues and you can give us random ass details. Like the mom has like a brooch of a pigeon and the guy who was killed used to run a bird nursery. I don't know, but like, you know, don't spoon feed us all the information. Keep some information away from us, you know? I mean, I don't think like, I believe in you extra hard because you're insecure. Because you have that doubt in yourself, I think you're gonna be, like, I think you're gonna write, you have the capacity to write a good thing. All writers have that doubt, I think. And I think those who don't are liars. And I think there's moments that really, really shine in this. And I think that you know, like, you have that urge, right? Like, hey, let's make things fucking weird. If you're gonna do it, make things really, really weird. Make things weird that make me ask questions. Nothing in this made me really ask questions besides like, but I thought he was. But then like we immediately learn two minutes later what he was. The end to this sentence, you know? Anyway, I hope this is okay. That's gonna do it for today's video. Let me know if you enjoyed it. As always, leave a like and a comment. It helps us out a lot. Subscribe if you want to see more. I stream on Twitch every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 4 p.m. PST. If you want to read this story in its entirety, I'll have it linked in the description below. And also, I just want to say right now, if you're watching YouTube and in a little anxiety spiral, maybe get up and stretch a little, okay? But yeah, you can find if not, you can find all my socials in there if you want to worsen your mental health, okay? All right. Talk to you next time. Please take care of yourself. Please be kind to yourself. And be patient with yourself, okay? All right. Peace.